What up, humans? How you doing? Welcome to Behind the Black Veil, where we get a more intimate look at the mysteries of our lives. There are many layers of meaning in my readings. I'm going to touch on a few. It may or may not resonate. Try to hear me and feel me for best results. Sometimes the roles can be reversed, and viewer discretion is advised. Fantastic. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Okay. Yeah. It just gets deeper and deeper. All right. Life. Am I right? Life. Have you been hearing about these volcanoes? Yes. Yes, the earth has spoken. The earth has spoken. Don't make her come down there. Okay. That's what I know. That is what I know. Shout out to the Fiji Islands. All right. Bless everybody who just crossed over. Amen. All right. Overall, ancestors, listen, thank you for being here. Thank you for your service. Thanks, God. Long live God. Amen. Overall, what do you think humanity would best be benefited by knowing today? All right. I don't know about you, but I could use some wise insights. Okay. Never too much, like Luther Vandross say. Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Overall, what's the thing we need to be really focused on right now? What do we need to be doing, seeing, and realizing? Well, see and realize this. End of the resources burnt bridge on the matter of. Okay, please get into it, because what's that about? Absolutely. Good. I'm glad you brought that up, ancestors, because I was wondering about that. End of the resources, burnt bridges. You know, for me, I would like to know that justice will be done. Okay, on earth as it is in heaven. Amen. All right. I would like it to be done expediently. All right. That's me. That's just my personal feelings on it. Okay. So, what about it, ancestors, creator? What about it? Because by all means, do explain this madness. Okay. They said, well, you had to cut some shit out before it became a problem, honey. You had to. You had to. Okay. So, I don't know. Did you have to burn a bridge? I don't know. Okay. Are you at the end of the resources? Whatever those are. All right. Whatever it is, it's because I get the sensation. You know what I get the sensation of? Rock and a hard place. Mm-hmm. 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 I get the sensation of rock and a hard place. Like you was in a position where you had to do something. You needed the resource, but the shit that came along with it was starting to become a problem. You see what I'm saying? So you had to, or whatever. You had to do something, and it's the end of the resources. Maybe you had to use all the money, or you had to, stay here too long, or, or you had to just be like, yeah, fuck it, I can't make it. Sorry, I'm canceling, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like something went down, but you had to do it, apparently, before it became a problem. It was becoming a problem. Right, right. Healing conversation, okay? A leap from 0 to 2, that's another thing that's happening in this card. There's nothing, suddenly there's something. Okay? So that for me works both ways with the sensation that I'm getting right now. Okay? The sensation that I'm getting is 2 versions. So this is coming across as a principle of the universe. Okay? One is everything's okay until it ain't. Right? So maybe there was something you didn't see coming, but you did see something coming. Something was coming, but maybe the aftershocks, maybe the consequences are something you didn't see coming, or having to even deal with this configuration is maybe something you didn't see coming. But once you was in it, you saw that it was a problem. You know what I mean? And so you had to cut some shit out before it became a problem. So I'm getting the sensation with this two-sided, everything's okay till it's not, and also it's darkest before the light, right? So you're in the dark, it feels like forever, and suddenly there's light. Then the dark is just a memory. then it's like, did it even happen? Then it's like, holy shit, what was that? Kind of thing. Okay? And what's hinging on this card of being at the end of the resources is the faith, is the hope, is the will to visualize a solution or a moment where the solution has been reached. Okay? Is to be able to hold the form of peace by making peace within, as opposed to waiting for it to physically manifest before you let yourself relax. This is about relaxing as much as you possibly can ahead of time. See, because he's smoking his pipe. There's nothing more he can do. He's at the end of the resources. The bridge is burnt. There's no going back. So at this point, freaking out is not going to help. It really isn't. Okay? Freaking out doesn't help. All right? And that takes me, I got to put this here. Let me just try not to forget about that. That takes me to something I don't know. The creator was speaking to me earlier about what this whole divine twins thing, twin flame, whatever. I don't really give a fuck what you call it. The dynamic between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, what this is all about. Because I'm quite done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm quite done. Like, what are we saying? What are we saying about this dude? What are we saying about ourselves? You know what I mean? Like, how much is this dude allowed to do before we're like, you done burnt the bridge and there's no turning back? Do you feel me? Okay, so I'm going to try to swing back by, but I didn't really feel that this is necessarily directly about that right now, but this is about that principle in the universe of who you have to be and the fact that your back has to be against the wall. And one day, your back will be against the wall. One day, eventually. And then there will be no turning back. A choice will have to be made. Do you believe that God can make a way where there is no way? Period. End of story. Okay? Because the 3D will have you doing desperate shit for resources or to get somewhere where the bridge has been burned and now you got to find an alternative and you don't know what to do and here comes the devil. Right? Oh, I got a ferry going right over there. You ain't need no bridge. Don't even worry about the bridge. Jump on my ferry. Okay? But the thing is, you got to be a foul motherfucker. You got to, discard everything good about yourself in order to get on this ferry. Do you feel me? Okay? Or for those of you who was on the ferry already and it was becoming a problem. And you was like, okay, I got to get off this motherfucker. I can't be here. Well, how you going to get across? How you going to get where you going? You don't know. You don't know. But if you stay on this ferry, it's definitely going to be a problem. Definitely. You might not make it for a whole nother reason. Okay? Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay? So that is what I get with this 2 of air. Okay? In my deck, it can be a healing exchange, a profitable exchange. Okay? Or a leap from 0 to 2. There was nothing, then there's 2. And from 2, everything. Right? So that is the potential in this card. Okay? From 0, the rest of the, formula unfolds. You see what I'm saying? So putting it all together for me, okay, putting it all together, it's looking like your experience, your destiny, your journey, your safety, your resources are dependent on God. Now that your back is against the wall, you can realize and recognize this. Now you have no distractions. Okay? No distractions. Now you see, boy, oh boy, I hope God is real. Hello? I hope God is as loving as they say. I really do, because I need Jesus right now. Okay? Of all the solutions, the only one I can see helping right now is God. Amen? Somebody need a miracle. I know that's right. That goes for all of humanity, I think. I think it does. Yeah, see? heartbreak. Now, okay, now it's bending back to my notes on the divine masculine and divine feminine. This on the lover's floor could be that dynamic playing out as well for some of you who that's your floor. You know what I'm saying? But this is generally true for that dynamic on every level. You know, that masculine feminine energy, that internal external energy, you know, the aggressive passive energy. This is how they're interacting with one another. You know, look like here to me, they're breaking one another down, like distillation, kind of like alchemy. Okay, let's talk more. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, yes. All right, so those of you who are over the cauldron with this thing, or that's your floor, somebody was over the cauldron, like, yes, bibbidi bobbidi boo, you know what I'm saying, trying to do spells on you and shit like that. All right, well, whatever their spell was, it played into your fortune on some level. You know, it helped you. And it's bittersweet. Even though I don't have my bittersweet card, this is bittersweet. It really is, because so far I'm getting the sensation that it it struck at you. It struck at you. It landed a blow, but it was strategic. It was like the creator playing pool with your ass kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And you know how pool is, you gotta, you know, knock this ball off of that so it goes over there and then come back down here and then goes across there and hit the ball. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. You know, it's like that. That's how the creator did you, like a bullet. And you just ricocheted off of shit until wham, you know, it landed square in the middle of whoever built the arsonist. Landed right in the middle of their eyeballs, because you had to cut whatever that was out. Whatever this dynamic is with the burnt bridge at the end of the resources, you had to cut that out. That could even be work. You know, you had to cut that out before it became a problem. You dig what I'm saying? You was like, I got to get away from this person before I end up on the ID channel or whatever, right? Whatever the dynamic is some sort of heartbreak involved. Okay, and certainly some sort of trickery or game or magic or some sort of negative shit that you was like, yeah, okay, nah, not at all. It was all for nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? All they did was reveal themselves. That's what they did by doing that, by burning the bridge, by doing the magic, by doing the manipulation, or whatever the illusion is in, you know, any of your lives. The illusionist, whoever or whatever that is, you know, in this dynamic in your life, their purposes were fruitless. Their purposes were fruitless because you caught on to it, or you know about it, or, you know, you are not that kind, or you don't go for shit like that, or whatever, you know, or you saw it for what it was, unsustainable. Either way, you cut this shit out, and by you doing that, it rendered it fruitless. Like you would have had to stay on the ferry in order for their plan to work. You know, like, oh, I'm going to take this person over here and then I'm going to leave them stranded because I've already burnt the bridge, yada, yada, yada. Or by the time we get there, this person has, you know, sacrificed so much of their character and their soul that they won't be really good for nothing anyway. When it's all, you know, whatever that it was, once you cut it out, it was a problem for that person. It was a waste of time for that person, for the illusionist. All right, let us go further. Or for the illusion. Okay, the Empress. Ah, yeah, because somebody stayed on their throne. Okay, or because you're faithful. You can't be tempted. You dig what I'm saying? The devil was like, oh, you at the end of your resources. Oh, I bet you need a ride now that somebody done burnt down your bridge. You dig what I'm saying? And some of y'all who's at the top of the light, you know, y'all was like, nah, Uh-uh. Uh-uh. See, and that's what I mean. It's kind of like an animal will chew their own leg off to get out of a trap. And that's something like, side note, that's something like how I felt when I was walking away from my last boyfriend. Now, of course, he walked away first, which prompted my walking away. So with all due respect, you know what I'm saying? He initiated the action. I'm not going to lie about that, okay? However, he was playing a game. The whole point was for him to come back, you know, touch base, kick my body, make sure I'm dead, that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? And so when he comes back to check my body to make sure I'm dead and I'm not there, that is when the mysteries and the saga really began, you know, to really get off the ground here with the whole masculine feminine dynamic, you know, and the awakening and the, you know, the promptings and, you know, all of the spirit world shit. And, you know, that's when it got crazy. You know, that's when it just went totally the matrix on everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting that it's something in here that you discover, right? And then the devil comes to offer you something, like gets him out of the way because you're the prize. You see what I'm saying? Or gets whoever the weakest link is out of the way. With all due respect, sometimes the roles can be reversed. But to get the weak link out of the way, and that's what set the whole shit off, is that the devil was coming at you, whoever this illusionist is, okay, or whatever dynamic this illusionist is. You know what I'm saying? Came first for the weak link, but wasn't really coming for the weak link. You dig what I'm saying? That's a little that's anticlimactic for the devil. Like, you know, the devil, why, you know, good people are always like, oh, why is the devil always fucking with it? Well, because who else is the devil gonna fuck with? The devil can't fuck with his own choir. You know what I'm saying? Like, they already on board, you know? There's nothing to see there. You know, the devil wants the people who's in the light, because those are the fucking gems, those are the victories, those are the medals to be won. You know what I mean? Not these weak links who just walk hand in hand with the devil, you know, whatever, for whatever reason. They don't know better, or they're fully subscribed, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's easy. That's easy meat. You know what I'm saying? The devil like to hunt. You dig what I'm saying? So that's why it's about these light beings, because they slippery. They hard to get, right? So they want to get what you love, the people that you love, that, because that's as close the devil can get to these light workers. You see what I'm saying? So this can come out in work, in your love relationships, and your money. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, prosperity is not necessarily a sign that you're being blessed by God. Do you feel me? Because tell Jesus that. Hello? Is he not holy because he was crucified? Do you feel me? Stop it. Stop it with the capitalism, y'all. Okay? So we can really understand what the fuck is going on here. That's why. Hello? So we can really get underneath the hood and learn the engineering of our reality. That's why. Okay? God don't give a fuck about your money. Okay? Absolutely. Okay? God does not give a fuck about rent or your money. I mean, generally, God cares about your frequency. Your frequency. And that's based on what you're learning. All right? Because God can use everybody. Am I right? At all walks of life, and feels free to do such. Am I right? Absolutely. But you do have to, you know, it's like credits. It's like college credits. It's like, what kind of degree are you getting? Is prosperity included in your degree? Maybe you're taking that course here on Earth. You know, some people are not taking that course. Some people are taking the poverty 101. You dig what I'm saying? And some people are taking other things where poverty is an elective or a minor. You know, you're minoring in poverty, majoring in prosperity. You know what I'm saying? It depends. It depends on what degree you're getting. Because this is school. That's why. Long as you're the expert, that's all you got to be. Okay? And it looks like this situation or whatever this dynamic is functioning in you becoming an expert. Okay? An expert in what? An expert in seeing the code of the matrix. An expert at being the one. Do you feel me? Because your back has to be against the wall. Why? Number one, you're human. That's why. And with humanity comes limits. You have to master the limit. You have to know where they're located. You have to know how limited. Limited in what way? What are the consequences? And then you got to be creative about how you find that information out. You cannot afford to burn down every fucking bridge to find out what it's made of. Got to be more creative. Well, let me go down to the Department of Infrastructure and find out about the history of this bridge. You got to start thinking intelligently. You got to work smarter and not harder. You know what I'm saying? Well, some people are not that intelligent. Some people don't know how to do nothing but cause destruction. Okay, so therein lies the dynamic. How do you coexist with people like that? Do you feel me? How are we supposed to live here in peace when there's people running around burning bridges like that? Trying to attack you or facilitating attacks because they are the weakest link and the devil can penetrate them so easily and then get up next to you. What the fuck are you supposed to do with that? See, and that's more of how your back is against the wall. Because as you try to tackle these formula, as you try to tackle these problems, quotes in the air, problems, like as in mathematic problems of life, ultimately we learn what? Ultimately we learn that there is no life without God. Who came up with that? That's new. That's new, y'all. Okay? That was dawning during the 16th century, y'all. Okay, how many know there's been a lot more years than just the last couple of 100 years? It's a lot more years in human history than that. Okay, so 500 years is a drop in the fucking bucket of the timeline. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, that's a drop in the bucket, so that's new. That's a new idea. Okay? And what was happening before the Renaissance, before science took over the mass consciousness? And everybody decided, hey, we don't need God anymore. Right? Right. And then we see that we've almost nearly destroyed the planet with our modern thinking. Right? Our great scientific thinking. If it does not walk hand in hand with God, what do we see? It's unsustainable. That is what we see. And so that is what you're learning in your little life. Okay? Little compared to the cosmos. Okay? In your little life, and therefore each of those little lights coming on in humanity represents the evolution of humanity itself. All right, now catch me when I'm wise, y'all. Catch me when I'm wise. All right? Abso-fucking-lutely. All right? We are evolving the species. That's why what we're learning is so important. Okay? Because it is up to those little lights. Those little lights are the markers for how is your species doing. Those little lights, not the ignorance. We've been ignorant for a long time. That's not new. The new shit is us being awake, okay? And maybe in some ancient past time, we was also awake. But how many know that was a long time ago, okay? So long we can't even remember, right? Exactly. Okay, so fantastic. Listen, here, yeah, see, big message. It's sending you a big message from the cosmos about this illusionist business and your heartbreak about it. Yes. Yes, I know. I know you don't want to feel that. Ever. Am I right? Even if you over all of the heartbreaks, right? You don't ever want to remember that shit, right? I know that. And they know this. The ancestors and the creator knows that. That's not what it's about. That's what they're saying. What it's about is getting you to that place like Neo, when they gave him the red pill, when they was trying to, that little bridge of time where they were trying to like, okay, Neo, listen, are you enjoying your life here? You having a great time or something working in this cubicle? You love this? You need to take this red pill, buddy. You need to come with us. We know what's up. Rock with us, buddy. All right? Because we got a sneaking suspicion you know better than this bullshit right here, okay? Better than anybody. And he really had to make a decision. He was tug of warring with it, okay? Like divine masculine. He was tugging a war with the shit. See, and your connection to divine masculine, divine feminine is tugging a war with the shit. Do you feel me? Right? And you're torn. You're torn between Trinity saying, no, I know you're the one, motherfucker. I don't care if you've been shot 5 times in the chest and you're dying, bleeding out right now in the Matrix. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I know you're the one because the oracle said I will fall in love with the one, and I'm in love with your ass. Get the fuck up. Do you feel me? End of story. Everybody running around, bouncing off walls and shit. You know, the men are looking good, floating through the air like a butterfly and shit. You know what I'm saying? This bitch walks over and says one thing. Let me tell you something, motherfucker, about them 5 bullets in your chest. I don't give a fuck. Let me explain. Okay? Let me explain this to you. Here, Mr. Neo. All right? You're going to have to get the fuck up after you better be Tupac today. All right? That's what I know. You better be Tupac and Neo today. All right? Because I love your ass. That's why. That's why. And the oracle said, okay, I would fall in love with the one. What the fuck? What I look like, motherfucker. Okay? The end. And he ain't have no choice but to get his ass up. End of story. Do you feel me? I mean, not really end the story, but I mean the beginning of the story, really. You know what I'm saying? But end of the other story. Believe in the Matrix. That's the point. That's the point. That's why this whole divine masculine, divine feminine clash of the titans, explosion, supernova, big bang. That's why. That's why. Because you are introducing humanity in its evolution back to God. There was a time where humans didn't even bother to try to exist without God. You better get some virgins over there in that volcano. Hello? Right. Right. Okay? I don't fully know the whole reason why that was necessary, but I know these motherfuckers did excellent mathematics. I know they were excellent at math. I know they were excellent navigators. I know they were expert builders. Expert. They said throw a bitch in the motherfucking volcano. I'm just saying. It's worth considering. If they say that shit is going to calm the volcano down, we should give it some thought. Okay? So my point is, you cannot make omelets without cracking some eggs. That's what the creator is saying. Okay? And let's let your egg be a soul in this particular situation. Do you feel me? The creator's making omelets, baby. All right? Yes. Yes. Yes, because that is going to expand and perfect the species. Do you feel me? Don't worry, you ain't going nowhere. Okay? You're just going around in the cosmic circle, in the cosmic cycle. You've lost nothing. You've lost nothing. That's why you have to see the code behind the illusion. That's where you have to live now. You are at the end of your resources, or the bridge has been burnt on one level or another. Why? We could say that about climate change. We could say that about human global health. We could say that about a lot of things. What's going to help us out of this? We need a miracle. I think it's clear. I think it's clear. We need to start thinking about this God thing. Yeah, we need to start giving this some serious thought. Because the people who believed in God, if you're tempted to turn away from God, once the people who were so thick and it took so long for them to understand God, once they're begging God, you're going to feel like a damn fool. So you might as well just stay and face the shit, whatever that it is. Stay and have the faith. Here, she's faithful. Here, he needs faith in order to get through the appearance of what he sees, which is the bridges burn. The appearance of what he sees, which is there's no more resources. It's over. Nothing can be done. Well, that's not true. Okay? That's not true. Fantastic. Let's go further. Ah, yes, I know. Queen of Swords here, who's cutting out shit before it becomes a problem because she's living under God's divine light. God makes sure that your thinking is clear for those of you who are already awakened, or whoever, is wiping the sleep out of their eyeballs or whatever. For those of you who had to cut something before it became a problem, because you could see clearly that it was unsustainable. You could see that clearly. Because that's what the Queen of Swords does. And another aid to your ability to see clearly is God's divine light is making sure you're well. Do you feel me? So let's go to the Lover's floor. For those of you who the divine masculine has hurt you, harmed you, attacked you, or facilitated access to you because of his ignorance by lower entities. The Creator wanted you to look at that, okay? The Creator wanted you to see that very clearly and understand that your journey is yours. It is uniquely your own, okay? It is uniquely your own. So ladies, I know they condition us to lean on men. And to some degree, yes, humans need each other. Of course, there's no shame in that. However, we know that we've recently, in the past few hundred years, been specifically conditioned to lean on men, even more than necessary, even more than is humanly necessary. Okay? So we don't cultivate these parts of ourselves often, until extremely recently. Cultivate those parts of us that are independent or powerful, because people mistake power with masculinity. So if you're a powerful woman, you're kind of an outcast of a woman, kind of like Lilith, who I've been looking into lately. She's been speaking to my soul lately because they tried to demonize her, right? But unlike the devil, they don't have no sophisticated reasoning behind her story. Like, why is she evil? Why is she considered a demon goddess, yada, yada? Why? Because the worst thing they describe is that she wasn't going for none of Adam's bullshit, right? Unlike the devil, who actually has a complex cause and purpose for what he does, which 9 times out of 10 is more likely to be based in some kind of fact, at the very least, because of that dynamic in the universe. Okay? Doesn't have to be a person or whatever. We could believe whatever we want to believe. Long as you're catching the movements of the universe, you're good. You know what I'm saying? You're good. You can call it whatever you like. But, in terms of Lilith, they're just mad at her because she did not want to be subservient to Adam. She wanted to be equal in respect, equal in stature. And that was the worst shit she did. So my point is, we have not been encouraged. There's been some propaganda, independent woman propaganda. But when you really get into the heart of your relationships, you realize how chauvinism is still alive. It's still quite alive. Even if they don't say what they think, they feel a certain way. Like they can fuck up or be ignorant in certain ways. Let you do it. Let you do it, though. And you got the scarlet letter on you for the rest of your motherfucking life. They think they entitled to treat you like a piece of shit forever for the least little bit of shit. Meanwhile, they got 1,000 things that they've done wrong. You see what I'm saying? Right. And it's because it's not our tendency to go upside people's head unless it's absolutely necessary. You see what I'm saying? Really. It gets down to the animal shit. It really does. You know what I'm saying? Survival of the fittest. And all that Darwinism shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So somebody was holding back their feelings. And you was like, okay, this is not sustainable. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? It's like somebody tries to starve you. It's like, it's like how Jeff Bezos is going into outer space like it's all good. Like we ain't having a pandemic, like motherfuckers ain't starving out here. Like your own fucking employees are not struggling. You going into outer space like, thanks everybody who's a customer of Amazon, because y'all all paid for this. This fool said this out of his face. Like he was saying some lofty, noble shit. He don't give a fuck. You see what I'm saying? And that's the sensation that I get was visited on the children of light who had to deal with any kind of, trickery or, bad magic or burnt bridges or end of resources type of situations. You know what I mean? You're an illustration of something. You know, something is being held back from you. And you're like, that won't work. That won't work. Or even if you have to hold back, that won't work. You know, you have to live free. You have to breathe freely. You can't just inhale. You got to also exhale. And that has to happen on regular rotation for the rest of your fucking life. Otherwise, it's a problem. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like somebody needed to connect, or there was some sort of divine timing, or they're not reaching out for an opportunity to connect. They're not reaching out. They're holding back their feelings. That's clear and plain to see. And that's why it's not sustainable. They got to get cut. Period. Period. Now, that's not to say what the outcome is. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. And that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. It's about squeezing the give a fuck right out of you. That's what this situation was about. It was to squeeze your fucking ass like a sponge so you can be completely fucking empty of concern about the outcome. That's right. That's right. So for those of you on the lovers floor, that might sound like a complete fucking nightmare. And believe me, it is. It is a nightmare. Okay? It is. The good news, it's the Matrix. The good news, it's an illusion. Okay? But the tricky shit is, it's because the thing you wanted is nothing you need to be concerned about. You dig what I'm saying? You're shaving back layers of desire. What is really underneath that desire? You know? Where are we going with this? What is it that you really are wanting here? Because what you are really wanting here, you can have. Where you thought it was located, who or what you thought had possession of this thing you wanted, that's the illusion. That's the illusion. See what I'm saying? You have to go through God. First step. Okay? Through God, through yourself, and then out into the world. And then connecting with the other, the two, 0 to 2, nothing, and then 2. You see what I'm saying? From God to the divine twins. From God, not from 1, from 0. From the potential, from the endless infinity. That's where you come from. You don't come from the 1. The 1 is based on ego. That is not to say it's bad. That is simply to say it belongs to the world of matter. It belongs to the matrix. It belongs to the 3D. You see what I'm saying? The matrix is such, okay, that it needs a 1. It needs a Smith. The dynamics are all about opposites and two-nesses, dualities, illusions, because it's really the all. It's really about the all. It's really about what does the matrix mean to reality and what does reality mean to the matrix? Why is each of them necessary and what is their function? That is what you've been learning through this situation of dynamics, of masculine and feminine dynamics. Okay? The divine masculine, okay, so let's get over to my notes. The divine masculine is teaching the divine feminine how to let go and let God. Right? Because we are conditioned and taught to lean on the man. We lean to him first and not to God. Do you feel me? There's no shame in it. There's no shame in it. Because divine masculine is supposed to be divine masculine. But what are we doing here? There's something unfolding here in human history. We're at a place in our journey. The devil is where? In the details. The devil is in the details. We're not just humanity suspended in the same moment perpetually. Shit is going down. Do you feel me? That is why it's important for you to learn this lesson, because this is where humanity is right now. This is where humanity is. All right? And divine masculine has to learn how to see, what to hold on to, how to identify things, how to protect the human race. Okay? From what? From fallen angels. From the entities that are making our lives difficult, that are testing us to raise us up to our full potential. Okay? And of course, women are going to get there first, because we're intuitive, because we are the creators on this planet. Do you feel me? Of course, we couldn't do it without you, masculines, okay? Absolutely. But when it comes to giving birth around here, that's us. Okay? That's who does that around here. So you're the first one to awaken. You're the first one up online when it comes to checking your cosmic account. You dig it? You bear the pain. You bear the labor of the species. Okay? And it can be breaking, just like God looks at humanity. Right? And if there's any portion of God is human, any portion, right? I suspect God is all things, right? So that portion of God, you are the flesh acting out that portion of God, dissatisfied with what it sees. Amen? But God is God and knows that it all comes together in the end, right? That's what you're learning. Karma, Empress. I know that's right. Exactly. Exactly. You're being remade. Who the feminine is, what that is, how do you do it, what is that? That's being broken down. The devil kicked a hole in your mirror. Okay? And you was like, what I'm supposed to do now? Like Anderson .Paak. Okay? Absolutely. So they had to take you to the mirror melters, to the mirror restorers, because you're being made new. It's not because you're bad. It's because that time has passed. That time of subservience to the man. But at the same time, he is superior on certain levels here in the 3D. Let us not pretend. I don't need to pretend. Do you? Not me. Okay, by all means, you lift the rocks. Absolutely. I have no problem with it. Okay? None whatsoever. You're not going to catch me out here getting in front of no man to lift no rocks. Hello? Okay, sorry. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You have at it, baby. I got dinner. Don't you worry. Okay? Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with the masculine. He's being broken down. Okay? He's self-destructing. He's picking himself apart, is what he's doing. Okay? He's self-destructing, at the behest of the devil's work, obviously. And he's learning what he's made of. What is this thing made of? Yeah. Yeah. He's learning, what do you hold on to and what do you let go of? It's like he's learning how to digest his food manually. You know what I mean? You know how you don't have to worry about your heart beating and you don't have to worry about your stomach working and stuff like that? Like it's almost as if he has to learn these things. Like he has to do the work of beating the heart. There's a part of your mind that is conscious of that, right? Right? The brain controls everything, right? It's all in the subconscious mind. There's a part of your mind that is awake and aware to the heartbeat. And it's like, yeah, do it. Boom. Pow. Do it. Hit me 2 times. Boom. Boom. You know what I'm saying? That's over there really doing the fucking manual labor of making your fucking life happen. Okay? Like cue the lungs. Okay? Like an orchestra. Absolutely. Okay? But, nobody has time for that on the conscious level in the, in the right brain or conscious mind or whatever. So you're being remade. He's being remade. Here's the duality again. Okay? Here's the duality again being made. But it is an arduous, painful process. Okay? That's part of it. Yeah. Because you got to tell God what you want, what you really, really want. That's what the Creator said. Yeah. Yeah. The Creator said, if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Absolutely. Meaning the ancestors. You know, the ancestors are integral to your path. Spirit, God's ancestors, whatever you like. Because, you know, you need a team down here. It takes a village. It's not a game. It's not a game. It really does. It really does take a village to raise up a child. Okay, God is like, who you thought came up with that one? You thought that was your idea? Yeah, no, I taught you that. I taught you that. Right, right. This is why. This is why we can't try to live without guidance. Do not even attempt it. Because if you do, you will kill yourself. That is what we learn. Look at the earth. It's not a game. They're hiding the shit. Okay? If we really knew what the fuck we were losing right now, do you feel me? Motherfuckers would not be trying to act like business as usual. I know that. Okay? You better put drugs in our food. Okay? Absolutely. You better hide that shit, motherfucker, because they know they scared of the people. They scared of the people. And that's a big indication that we do have some power around here. That's a big indicator. Okay? Absolutely. So if you want what you say you want, which is divine union, come on now. Come on. What kind of union? I say divine union. They said that's what you wanted, right? Okay. Well, that shit costs. That's expensive. Okay? The Mayans wanted peace. So they said, I'm sorry, bitch, you going in the volcano. It's simple. Okay? Absolutely. We got to do what we got to do. All right? We playing some football today, and the winner loses they head. Okay? Motherfuckers out there like, yeah, bitch. Watch me kick your ass in soccer. You dig what I'm saying? Because they understood. They understood. This is the Matrix, motherfucker. Bodies? So what? I get me a new one. Hello? I get a new one, bitch. You see this mole? I ain't gonna have to worry about this, bitch. Because I'm about to kick your ass on the soccer field. You dig what I'm saying? They're like, yeah. That fourth toe? Yeah, I'm not gonna have to worry about that fourth toe no more. That shit was getting on my nerves anyway, bitch. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. When you can see past the matrix, you ain't sweating no little losses of shit. You ain't sweating no material things. Right? And divine masculine's body, his body, right? Which is what we're really attached to on the 3D, right? His body, his mind, his face, his whatever. The person, the body he's in. That's not a requirement, is it? For divine union. And so what I mean by that is you don't need that particular body. God can breathe life into a whole nother body. God can put the anointment, as the Christians say, on a whole nother somebody. That is what you are here to learn. Okay? And what you're learning from this divine union. The Creator had to pry your cold, dead hands off that nigga. That's what that looked like to me. Okay? Absolutely. I totally understand divine feminine because let me tell you something. If you're worth your salt as a divine feminine, if you're worth your motherfucking salt, your love is indestructible. If you are divine light on this planet and you are God's child, your love is indestructible. That's very important. Okay? Now that don't mean you keep calling a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Empress status, okay? Empress. That means soon as they fuck up, they're out of there. Of course you still love them. Of course you do. But do you want a divine union? Another thing that I was learning this morning is that divine masculine teaches us about free will, because I was thinking about tarot. People look to tarot for answers. They look to tarot for solace, for insight, for perspective. Okay? And you may or may not receive that. with tarot. Tarot is a very cold counselor. Okay? Abso-fucking-lutely. It is a cold counselor. But it's out of love because it's under the universal umbrella, right, of mechanics. And God is love. Amen. So the thing is, it doesn't always bring us solace. It can give us perspective, or it can destroy our perspective. You see, that's why I've been saying it's dangerous. You dig what I'm saying? So what I've learned, because sometimes it can leave you very dissatisfied, right? Right? That's one of the major experiences some people have, you know, as they're learning how to understand the mechanics of the universe. Like, oh, you said this would happen. Why didn't it happen? This is the weather forecast. I can't tell you you're going to get wet when you go outside. I can tell you it's raining. Right? I can tell you that. I can't tell you if your roof going to get ripped off your house. Maybe I could tell you that. But generally speaking, I could tell you there's a tornado coming and it's heading towards your house. I don't know after that, you know, how the creator is all gone. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I don't know if you're going to make it. Are you staying in your house or are you leaving? And the creator might hit you upside the head with something on your way out the door and you die anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know. I'm telling you the weather. All right? Kind of thing, right? So divine masculine, in these many windows, these many opportunities that he's had to come up to his full potential, or for those of you who are separated, for him to close in the distance, or, you know, get his shit together, or whatever the situation seems to be, you know, he has free will, right? And you know, in your right mind, that you can't sit around waiting for anyone, right? Even though you can lose your appetite a little bit after dealing with some shit. You know what I mean? But bear with me. But he teaches the divine feminine to let go, to embrace free will, to embrace her power. And I mean independent power. I mean rule like a man. And, you know, and I mean that to speak to how we're all conditioned in the modern day. Okay? Rule like a man without, I don't want to say without regard, but I'm going to say without reference to any other man. Because that's how men are popular for that. Just do what they feel like doing. Don't ask nobody shit. Right? Right. So you have to learn a little bit of that, divine feminine, because you refer to too many counselors. The creator would like you to refer to the one and the only, most high counselor. And that's all the wisdom you're going to need to get whatever you need done. If you want a divine union, then you have to first marry yourself. Oh, shit. What did I just say? Hello? You have to first marry yourself. And I mean that. Okay, so what do I mean? I mean that. Okay, what I mean is that when you are faithful, you ain't looking at nobody else. And that includes divine masculine. Do you understand me? And that is not to say his dynamic is not legitimate. That is not to say it won't play a part. It is not to say none of that. It is not to say that you will not come together into a union with a divine masculine that is fitted for you. It is not to say none of that. That is to say you truly have to let go. You have to. You have to. That's the sacrifice. That's the fucking sacrifice. The sacrifice is you can't see the answer. And you got to learn how to fly. No ground under your feet. You got to use your wings. You can't use your legs. Those are not efficient anymore. Not right now. Right now, you must fly. Do you feel me? So that is what we're learning. Marry yourself and be faithful to yourself. Be fulfilled within yourself because you are married to who? By marrying yourself. You are married to God. That's who's in there. That's who's in there. And you got to protect yourself jealously. I'm going to say jealously, for lack of a better term. Okay? Because you can't afford to have any weak links. That's why. It's not sustainable. Okay, this is a long one. I'm sorry. If that's a problem for somebody, fast forward. If you feel like it. Right. High priestess. Yeah, the high priestess knows that somebody is kicking rocks and the high priestess also knows that God is behind it all. God is trying to protect you. So did you feel like you lost something? You did. You lost your illusions. Yeah, you lost your illusions. God kicked you in the back somewhere. Look like here. God kicked you in the back. Now, I heard, this is from my Native American counselor. I heard that sometimes the elders would kick you in the back in the days to shock you out of your rut, to shock you out of your illusions, to make you refocus, right? That is why Black people go upside people's head, you know? Or certainly the old school Black people used to do that, and we used to be a lovely bunch. We really were, you know what I'm saying? All the men used to wear pants, you know? No offense, but just saying. We were a saner bunch back then, I'm just saying. Okay, so we keep it ice cold behind the black veil. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, so you have to remain focused here. And it's through your intuition. That's what the whole point was. It was to burn down your old world, to let you know you can't go back to that old way of thinking, that old way of operating. It was to get you good and tired. It was to wring your sponge out. It was to squeeze that fucking juice out of you. You know what I mean? Because that's another thing I learned from Black people, is that there's only so much forgiveness and understanding you can give to a person and still live. Do you feel me? Do you want to be alive, motherfucker, or not? Period. Do you feel me? And that's all I'm saying. You should not allow yourself to fall into decay if you can help it. All right? And how do you prevent that from happening? You need God. There's nothing else. The money won't help you. Acceptance won't help you. Voting is not going to fucking help you. Sorry to say. Okay? Sorry to say. That's not going to help nobody. Okay? Not even your motherfucking peaceful protests, although I do appreciate a good distraction for strategic purposes anyway. Okay? But when we talking about solutions to problems, you're going to need God. Period. End of story. Right? So here's where we see we have to transcend our emotions and the illusions and the demons. We have to go where demons and angels fear to tread. We have to take a leap of faith. That's a must. That's a must. Okay? I think in that order, too. I think in that order. Somebody wants to return to the safe haven. I suspect it's the arsonist, the illusionist, right? Because they've thoroughly explored the alternative. Right? What alternative? The alternative to God. The alternative to divine union. Yeah. Right. Right. So we say that's not romantic, right? But how many know romance is based on Roman philosophy? Right? So where do we get these ideas from? Since when is life easy? Since when is relationships just butterflies for the whole span of the relationship, just rainbows and candy? You know what I'm saying? Since fucking when? You've never heard of it. You've never heard of it. Now, how long are we going to allow ourselves to chase this dream when we could be living in the present? The faster that we accept reality for what it is, the faster we can be satisfied, happy. That's why the Buddhists say don't want nothing. Don't waste your time wanting shit. That's why they say that, even though that is a fucking muscular fucking exercise they talking about, okay? Especially in this new modern age of instant gratification, okay? But here we have the Ten of Cups. I get the sensation that somebody is very passionate about you. They are trying to transcend their illusions and the demons. I get the sensation that you are some kind of guiding light to this person. That's another reason, okay? I mean, this is for humanity, so sorry if it's long-winded, motherfucker, but I'm trying to save your life, okay? Shit. Okay, so anyhow, all right, for those of you who still hanging in there, God bless your heart. That's another thing, that you are here. You are the guiding light. A divine feminines and people rocking with the divine feminine energy. We do have some masculines who rock with the divine feminine energy, and they are men, right? And they practice being men, you know, like a traditional man. However, they have this sympathy, empathy with the feminine, you know, so they end up being from our temple kind of thing, you know. We need men in our temple, just like there's, you know, feminine sympathizers over in divine masculine temple, right? So for the people representing the divine feminine, your journey was to be a guiding light. You can't be with the person known as the divine masculine, whoever is playing that role in your life. You can't always be with them. It's just like when we have children. You want to get along with your children. You want to love your children and like your children. You want them to love you and like you. You want to be admired by them. You want to admire them. That is the kind of experience a mentally healthy person wants to have, generally speaking, with their child. Okay? How many know it is not necessarily going to work out that way? All right? Certainly you will visit seasons where things are not as perfect as you dreamt, right? In your wildest dreams of having a child or a parent, right? And so that's life. And to some degree, you need to be separate from them in order for them to come into their full potential. You don't want them codependent on you for the rest of their life, because then they are never really fully born. They are never really fully born. Feel me? You got to let your kids be alive completely, you know? And you have to let them become adults and elders. You have to allow it, you know? Because a parent, how many know a parent can destroy that process? I mean, quite completely for the rest of that person's life. You know? That's how connected we are to our bloodline, y'all. Okay, so it looks like here you have to have faith and you have to focus on the Ten of Cups. You have to allow God to protect you. You have to allow the process to take place. You have to allow yourself the advancement that you've achieved. Even though the 3D is telling you, you know, how you going to be waiting for somebody and you can't wait? You can't wait. That's a fact. That's a fact. And you shouldn't be waiting. Never do that. However, if you need to withdraw from that sort of behavior, if you need to withdraw from relationships for a while, that's legit. Okay? Doesn't mean you're not busy. You ought to be extremely busy doing your inner work, because you are the guiding light. And how many know the guiding light is absolutely necessary in order to be able to see? That's what the Queen of Swords is doing here. She's following the guiding light. See what I'm saying? So you, creator and birther of the human race, who more than you are obligated to provide a guiding light? Who more than you? Okay? Women have given birth to all the humans, all of them, one way or the other. Do you feel me? And if somebody found a way to get to Earth without a woman, how many know it's a problem? Oh, okay? Do you feel me? It's not sustainable. Okay? You need that feminine blessing. You need that blessing to live on this planet. Okay? Absolutely. And who better than you to guide humanity? So what does that mean? That means you can't refer to the man sometimes. You can't count on him to be your partner. Because on some scale, you're on your own. And that is divine. Okay? You got to be the fucking leader of humanity and don't fucking look for nobody to give you no fucking, permission. Do you feel me? That's the real distinction, I think. That's one of the major distinctions between men and women. Men don't look for permission as a species. I'm talking generally. Okay? And generally as a species, women are asking 25 people's permission before we decide we want to do a thing. And then we second guessing it the whole time. So now we're taking the species into a place where we ain't asking for permission. This is the direction the earth is headed in. Keep up or fall behind. Fall into fucking extinction. Who better than us to decide who gets to fall into extinction? Hello? Right. We brought you in this world, we'll take you out. Simple. Okay? Yeah, especially if you're going to be running around breaking hearts and destroying planets. Anybody notice the shape of Jeff Bezos' little spaceship? Anybody picking up on that? Just saying. All right? If you never paid attention, go take a look. All right? This guy's fucking completely self-absorbed. All right? And ego tripping. Or astronomically, literally. Okay? Fantastic. All right. So, here's the thing. Somebody didn't use words to remove the obstacles. Hence the burning of the bridge. Okay? Also, I feel that it's possible that you need to be careful about your words. Let's go further. Yeah. Yeah. Because the devil, that's why. Okay? If you're anything like me, your words can build or destroy, right? And I think you're something like me, right? Because we're all human and everybody's got that power, right? But I've sharpened my swords for, longer than some. You know what I mean? So it looks here like the illusionist realizes that they were doing the devil's work on one level or another. Whoever the illusionist is, or whatever the illusionist is, systems, whatever. That's why you got to stop talking to psychopaths. Okay, psychopaths know what they're doing. You can't try to appeal to them as humans, right? Because they're no longer human. Okay, so same principle. This is what the divine masculine is realizing, or the illusionist, or the illusionary system, or whatever the principle is realizing that it has to make a choice. So divine masculine's back is up against the wall on some level or another, where he has to make a choice between God and the devil. Okay? And your choice is kind of between the 3D and the 5D. Like, whose principles are you going to act upon? Are you going to go based on the laws and what we think is acceptable on the 3D, or are you going to go by the laws and what we think is acceptable on the 5D? So in that way, you're choosing between the devil and God too. But for you, it's less of the devil as a monster and more of the devil as a keeper of the realm, a legitimate function of the universe. So you see how your understanding is a little elevated from what divine masculine is going through, even though what he's going through is equally as legitimate and important as what you're going through. Okay? But yours is a little more sophisticated, a little more developed, a little more closer to the accurate truth as it truly exists in reality, right? And he's seeing it from a different angle, but he's looking at the same thing. It looks different to him from his point of view. And because it looks different to him, it is different for him, you know, from his point of view. He's choosing between the devil, the monster, and God, the savior. You know what I'm saying? Who is God? That's what he's deciding. Who is your God? Absolutely. Absolutely. Where the feminine is deciding, how do you want to experience God? Because you know who God is already. So your shit is a little elevated. You know who God is. You know the devil works for God. You know it's the matrix. You know there's a code. You know it's an illusion. So now that you know it's an illusion and you know that there's a reality, what do you choose to operate by? What principles will you give birth to? You know what I'm saying? Because think about why men want money and why they want fancy cars and they want power and they want all this so that they can have power over what? Over us. Over Earth. All the feminine principles. See what I'm saying? Over the resources. You see what I'm saying? So we're really the gem to be had. We're really the precedent setters. Because how many know you can build your mansion wherever you want, and if the earth decides it's going to swallow your mansion, you got nothing. But even though we do, eventually a time has to end. A time has to end. And what we will allow from the masculine is ending. It's ending, honey. You learned what you needed to learn from this dynamic. Another thing is the link. Okay, so divine feminines, you had to learn about how to link and unlink from people. Okay, because as this new empress that you are, you will link to many for many different reasons. You are the linker and you are the link. Okay, you are the link from God to humanity. So you got to be the master of the link. All right. Part of this was for you to learn how to work this thing. Okay. Um, Never love someone more than you love yourself. Right. Because now if we're taking love as a skill, okay, taking love as a skill, when we're doing love, when we're doing it right, we're not just feeling it, we're doing it. Okay. So you have to do the loving of yourself. You can't just have a loving philosophy toward yourself, which is great. That's a good start and everything. But you actually have to do the action and the activity of loving yourself. You see? So with divine masculine, for those of you who were in conflict with divine masculine for whatever reason, whatever way, you had to learn to cut the link, to not play favorites, okay? To continue the action of love down to the very lowest common denominator, which is you. Okay? That's you. Gotta love yourself. And I don't mean that you don't. Of course, you feel love for yourself, but you have to do the love. And that's how this took place. Okay? Just like divine masculine is between a rock and a hard place, learning how to be distinctive between, he's learning how to discriminate wisely. That's what he's learning. He's learning how to recognize the difference between God and the devil. Now, for most divine feminines, that is elementary. Right? So you're on a little more higher level than that when it comes to what you need to recognize. Okay? You need to recognize the difference between what you're responsible for and what divine masculine is responsible for. See what I'm saying? Because you don't have the ignorance. He has genuine ignorance that you don't have. Do you feel me? So it's just like when you are left in charge of the kids, the younger siblings, or the class monitor, okay, it is up to you, right, to decide if some shit is going wrong or not. Do you feel me? And you are not allowed to be the one fucking up. You are not allowed, right? Because you know better, right? So that's a whole nother list of protocols in itself. What do you do when you're the one who knows better? Now what? Like looking into tarot. So you can see the weather coming. Now what? Now what's life like on Earth for the people who can see the weather coming? How do they vote? What do they eat? What do they do for recreation? How do they live their life? How do they pick their mates? How do they raise their kids? You dig what I'm saying? This is a whole population we're talking about. Okay? So, I mean, with all of the people going to light worker meetings and drumming circles, there ought to be a lot more light workers than we seem to feel like they are, right? They must be here, all right? We'll be hearing rumors that they was in classes, all right? That's all I know. And you have to learn to plug in and unplug from people at will. Plug in and unplug because you're the precedent setter. You're the guiding light. You know what I mean? So if you let something rock, it rocks for humanity. Do you feel me? So how much will you accept? How much will you allow? Before it's time to pull back and love yourself. Something tells you, you waited too late, right? End of resources. You waited too late. You needed to move quicker. You gotta be faster than that. You know what I'm saying? Abso-fucking-lutely. Gotta be faster than that. So and you couldn't have avoided, by the way, you couldn't have avoided this initial lesson learning business, right? Because this is about evolution. And it's time sensitive. Okay? Divine timing. It's time sensitive. Okay? So I don't mean that in the rushing sense. I mean it is sensitive from all different angles for all different kinds of reasons. Right? You have to live the journey out. You can't get in front of it. Okay? So here, the divine masculine energy sees that it was he chose something that wasn't worthy of him. That's what he's realizing. He chose something or someone that was not worthy of him. Right? Men do that a lot. Am I right? And he realizes that was the devil. That was the devil's work. All toxic everything. Right? Exactly. It looks like the devil said something on somebody's floor about a pregnancy. I get a seduction feeling, and I get the sensation that the divine feminine is disappointed in the divine masculine because she feels that he is the weakest link. She feels like, why was it so easy to displace you, to distract you, to seduce you? Why was it so easy? You're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be a master. You're supposed to know the difference. You're supposed to recognize me. Do you feel me? So all of that is breaking down the Empress. He doesn't recognize me. What is it about me? Boom, first layer off. Like, okay, this outfit didn't work. He didn't recognize me. You know? He was so easily seduced. Well, what seems to be the problem? Am I unattractive? Boom, next layer comes off. You dig what I'm saying? And all of this is breaking you down, breaking you down, breaking you down. Right? Calm down, calm down. It's all for a reason. That's the whole point. Okay? It's breaking you down. Why? On purpose. And it's not about his purpose. Right? Because remember, all of the steps that they took to harm you, you saw the shit coming. You cut it out before it became a real problem. Right? All the way back in the beginning. Right? Boom. Whatever they was trying to do, whoever, the devil. Okay? Whoever. It looked like the devil was working through your masculine. So that means that the devil, if this is playing out as human beings, or even if it's not, whatever, the devil is another entity in the story. There's you, there's the divine masculine, there's the devil, like that, right? So even though divine masculine functioned in the devil's work, he is not the devil. Not on this floor. Okay, on this floor, the devil was working through him. Okay, and that was your disappointment. Why is it, possible for the devil to work through you? And you're saying this naturally from your perch. So your perch is breaking down. Why? Because you've assigned part of your identity to the divine masculine. So if he's wrong, something wrong with you. Meaning there's something that needs to be cut away. Because, of course, you can't allow anything to be wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, oh, no. That has to go. And you're struggling with it. Why are you struggling? Because that's you. Like chewing off your own leg to get out of a trap. That's you. You don't want to cut it off. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I can't sit here and hope to save the leg. You know what I'm saying? Now that the leg is caught in the bear trap. I'll just get a completely another leg. I mean, I think that's more doable than keeping this leg. You know what I mean? Why? Because it's time sensitive. That's why. You know what I'm saying? After a while, that leg is going to get rotten. And it's going to turn into something else. If you're still attached to it, see, this is the linking I was talking about. If you're still attached to it when it decides that it's become another thing, you know what I'm saying? Like maggots or rot or whatever, right? Sorry to be so graphic, okay? But, I need an illustration here. Here it is, okay? You can't still be attached to it when it becomes something else, something of a separate identity from you, right? Because then it will eat you, right? It'll start eating away the rest of your body. So you have to detach from it. You must. Okay, so what did we learn? We learned that we like our legs. We need to be careful where we walk around here. Okay, Divine Feminine, that's what you learned. Be careful where you walk because you might enter into a place where people don't recognize you, where nothing is sacred. Not even the holiest of things is sacred. So what is the difference between you then and you now? The difference between you then, you was the Empress then. You was the Empress then, but that's the precedent. That's the first responder shit. That's how you're on the front lines of the human species evolving. Okay? You were that Empress of that time. Okay? And this person comes along and breaks and chops that all down on behalf of the devil. Right? And the devil on behalf of God. Because you needed to be broken down. Why? Because this is a new Empress, a new precedent. The one where you know who you are and you know not to wait 5 minutes to get treated with your proper respect. 5 minutes is too long. Do you feel me? That's the new Empress. See? So you couldn't have skipped that lesson. You needed that lesson. The time had to occur in order for you to understand the significance of time. Is your time to be wasted? What is the quality of your time? Do you feel me? Does that meet the precedent of the crown? Does that meet the measurement of the divine masculine? Does that meet your measurement? You are the decider. Women, birther of humans. What is the precedent? What is the measurement for being human here? Decide. Do you feel me? And that is not to say that divine masculine, whoever he's playing in this lifetime, whatever body he's riding in, that is not to say that you will not come into union or that you will. I have no idea. That's what I'm saying. Hello? Do not get me twisted, okay? That's what I'm saying. I have no fucking idea. But yet you have to live on. Yet you have to live on with no idea. How do you do that? Well, you swallow the red pill and you realize what is real. What is really real? Who are you really in union with here? How do you do love? Right? And give first to your own hand. Am I right? So we look here. Also, like the emperor had a lot of sexual energy toward you, like, you know, put you in a bottle in a container. You were a sexual outlet, one of many, as we well know. If that's all you're looking for, there's many of those, right? He thought you was one among many. And I get the sensation. You know, it's just like how the elites treat the poor people or the regular people. You know what I'm saying? It's the same principle. You dig it? So it's many layers. Okay, so divine masculine has not seen your vision until now. He sees that the devil changed his trajectory in life. It had a big impact on him. This playing games and doing the devil's work, especially on you, has just blown completely up in his face, right? It's just blown completely up. The devil, the emperor. You dig what I'm saying? So I feel that he did something that wasn't worthy of him, and he hurt himself. He changed his own life. And of course, he changed the trajectory for you. But this explosion has caused some sort of big, you know, dynamic appearance of God. You know, God got to, you know, make an entrance. You know it. You know it. And what another thing that I realized is that you don't, divine feminine, you had to use your sword. And you don't like to do that. Right? Because you're the empress. Right? You just want to chill and go shopping maybe, you know? Hang out, dig it? Have a nice day. That's what you like to do in a day. You like to have a nice fucking day. You know what I'm saying? You didn't want to have to come out doing this gory shit right here. This is gory. You know what I mean? You don't want to have to do that, you know? But you had to be surgical. You had to do it. So now you're learning to get more comfortable using your sword. You will link to many and you will have to use your sword on many. That's the evolution of humanity right now. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. Where we got to start just cutting motherfuckers just off at the knees. Like, no, I can't allow you to develop a product that might destroy the planet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're going to have to die of poverty and hunger. I'm sorry. If you can't come up with nothing else, that's what's going to have to happen to you. I'm sorry. No, we don't have no rent programs for you, for people like you. Not at all. You dig what I'm saying? You can't make no money. We don't want what you have. We ain't want none. We don't want none. Okay? You got to cut it before it's a problem, people. Okay? No, you're a psychopath. We can't allow you to have no office in government. I'm sorry. No, can't do it. Can't do it. As soon as we find out your mental health is in question, you must step down. You must step down. Or else you will be taken down. Okay? Hello? Come on now. That's the most American patriotic shit anybody could do. Did you hear about the guy? Side note, did you hear about the guy who put the ad on Craigslist to have one of the government people killed. Oh man, that guy's funny. That guy is funny. I was like, you got to respect that guy, all right? He was like, hey, let's get this thing done. Am I right? Oh, shit, that is funny as hell. God bless it. God bless everybody. But yeah, so yeah, it looks like here, this is all a big impact on everyone. This is all a big impact on everyone. All right, I would like to get more into this heartbreak card. What are we talking about? What specifically? Yeah, and if on the lover's floor, this person wants to come back, but I guess they feel like they burnt the bridge. They feel exposed. They feel cut out, cut away because of their dealings with the devil. It's kind of sad. All right, so yeah, heartbreak card. What are we talking about? Yeah, because the deception. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's got to be justice, got to be done. Justice has to be done. That's part of the sacrifice. Justice has to be done. You don't want to see, you don't want to see one of your own favorite people come to harm. You know what I mean? But I mean, they're guilty though. They're guilty. And you have to be the guiding light and the precedent setter for humanity, for the human species. You got bigger fish to fry. You dig what I'm saying? So he might catch up. That's what I was going to say way back. He might catch up, but that's going to be between him and his God. Do you feel me? That's between him and his God, and that's none of your affair, divine feminine. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay? And that's how it has to be. Has to be that way. That's why you have to be not concerned. You have to stop your concern. That's right. That's right. Put a stop to it. Absolutely. Because you deserve better than to have to be wondering and concerned. Don't be concerned. Be the leader of the human race instead. Okay? Hello? Right. Right. Let yourself have the power. See? It's a whole paradigm shift. You know what? Welcome to the age of Aquarius. That's what I say to that. Okay? So let's go deeper into the burnt bridge. That was powerful, the age of Aquarius. I don't even know exactly how important that is, but I know it's deep. I know it's important, okay? But I just feel like that kind of went down for me. You know what I'm saying? Interesting. All right. Yeah, burnt the bridge. Yeah, I know. Yeah, with the woman that they love, or by loving another woman, or, that's the deeper meaning. They burnt the bridge to maybe you looking at them lovingly, or you having sweet, loving feelings for them, or being able to access those feelings if you feel them, but you don't feel like they are worthy to receive them. Like there's a lien on their account. Like you might love them and you got a lot of love in the bank account for them, but perhaps there's a lien on the account, because they owe taxes or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the getting by with the grace and mercy of safe passage, like, oh, welcome back, honey. I miss you. Oh my God, I love you. Oh, divine masculine. Like that shit is dead. Do you feel me? So if he come back, he will not be receiving that kind of motherfucking welcome. Okay? It might be a little something more like, oh, what are you doing here? That is funny. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just saying that's very funny. But I get the sensation that already, because the high priestess, and this person is kicking rocks, and they have to transcend their demons, and all that's happening, and they want to have the healing conversation with you and start a passionate new beginning. Perhaps that this person wants to take a leap of faith because you're the 10 of Cups and y'all are soulmates, and therefore, of course, they want to return to the safe haven because it's the safe haven. Hello? Like, it's a no-brainer, dude. Hello? It's the safe haven. Anything that's your safe haven, you're going to want to return to the shit. I mean, that's how safe havens work, okay? It's Really simple, you know, so it's not really like an ego thing. It's just like, yeah, of course you want to come back. You know what I'm saying? Right. You burnt the bridge, and usually people often find out that wasn't a good idea. Like, you know, that's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. But because they burnt the bridge, you're not so happy. You know, if this is a, you know, return kind of situation. You know what I mean? I don't know what the significance of that information is, but that's the overall right there. It's like, yeah, no, that's dead. You killed that. You killed that. You know. But something is still bubbling here, though. Yeah, but the deed is done. The damage is done. That's the sensation I get. The damage is done. Hence the burnt bridge. Hence the need for God and Jesus to take the wheel. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why this is like, you know, this reading is like the reading to nowhere. It's like the road to nowhere, because that's the point. The point is, if you want to get anywhere ever in life, you better talk to God about it. Okay? You had better do that as a way of life. That's what this means. Don't ever try to make a decision without the Creator again in your life. Simple. Pretty simple. Hard lesson. Okay? Hard lesson. But a lesson fully and completely learned. Look like here. All right? Now, I hope that message helps somebody out there. I really do. For more deep-ass readings where we see, whew, being between a rock and a hard place is not a game, but it's all for a very, very important reason. And it's going to make sense in the end. And you are blessed by divine grace. In deep-ass readings like these, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell on your way out. Make sure to pick up a copy of Discriminating Wisdom over at Amazon. The link is down below. And make sure you're out here discriminating wisely. And I will see you again here soon. Humanity behind the black veil.